The defendant made a statement that he drank prior to driving.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Leads you to believe that he's drunk. We have an accident, I get it, but there's just an odor of alcohol. There's no slurred speech, no bloodshot eyes, just an odor.
Your PC on this one, Judge.
Sure, of course.
Yes, sir. The officer observed the defendant speaking to two other individuals and conducting a hand-to-hand transaction. The officer stopped his vehicle near the defendant, and when the defendant saw the officer, he started leaving on his bicycle. The officer began to follow the defendant, and the defendant actively avoided the officer by changing directions frequently. The officer stopped the car and told the defendant to stop. The defendant continued to flee until losing his balance on his...
Here we go. A DWI case that's about to test how far probable cause really goes. Can a faint odor of alcohol and a crash scene alone prove intoxication? Let's see how Judge Fleser handles it.
narcotics transaction.
Okay. Was the other person doing it? Did he do it?
It was...
Did they find any dope?
Probably they found a dope, but what they did observe was him on his bike and stopping with someone else.
And didn't even notify himself as police. You know, one of the conditions on an evading arrest is you have...
Good morning, Your Honor.
Hey.
How's it going?
It's been a while. How are you? What's new?
Yes.
I'm right. Thanks. Good morning, Mr. McGaskey. So you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you.
October 26th, officer was dispatched to a major crash in Harris County, Texas. Upon arrival, the officer observed the defendant sitting in the driver's seat of his motor vehicle with his keys in his lap and with an odor of an alcoholic beverage. The defendant stated he drank prior to driving. Standard field sobriety tests were performed. HGN 4 out of 6, walk and turn 4 out of 8, one leg stand 3 out of 4. The DIC was read and the defendant consented to breath, but the defendant was unable to do the test. A blood warrant was then signed and executed.
It was really quick. So where was he?
So it was a major crash in Harris County, Texas, specifically on 2201 Southwest Freeway.
Okay, and then what?
The officer arrived and he was in his driver's seat, and the officer observed his keys in his lap, and then he observed an odor of alcoholic beverage.
Just an odor. Anything else?
And then the defendant made a statement that he drank prior to driving.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Leads you to believe that he's drunk. We have an accident, I get it, but there's just an odor of alcohol. There's no slurred speech, no bloodshot eyes, just an odor.
Yes, sir. All that was written was the odor was observed, and then the statement made about him drinking.
McGaskey, I have an accident. All I have is an odor of alcohol. What can you, other than the accident, what can you lead me to believe that he's drunk or intoxicated?
The defendant stated he drank prior to driving.
We don't know how many, we don't know how much, we don't know when it was happened.
Well, Judge, I don't think that's necessary to provide probable cause for the case. He's admitting to drinking, he's got odor of alcohol in the breath, and the accident itself is evidence of intoxication, Judge. All of that, in our opinion, is enough for probable cause.
I don't think so. I mean, usually there's a lot more than just that. An odor, we don't have anything else. I don't know when, I don't know how many, I don't know how strong it is, just an odor.
Not every case has extrapolation or admissions of how many, Judge.
I understand. I understand, Michael, but I need just a little bit more than just an odor and an accident.
And admissions of drinking, Judge?
Okay, we don't know when the officer came.
And just like that, no probable cause found. Judge Fleser refuses to rubber stamp the DWI charge. He's saying, an odor isn't evidence, it's suspicion. Do you think he was right to toss it?
Can't do any more questions than that? Okay, when did you do it? How many did you have? Did you have anything to eat?
Understood.
All right, I'm going to find no probable cause, Mr. McGaskey. It's very possible if they take it to a grand jury and indict it, but so I would be on the lookout, number one. Number two, you know how many accidents and death we have every day due to alcohol and getting into a car? I'm going to find no probable cause. Just take a seat for a moment.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Jeff. Hey, Anna. Come on up. Yes, ma'am.
I'm approaching, the last name is Amy, A-M-Y. He's in custody.
Okay,
Can we hear PC on this one, Judge?
sure, of course.
Yes, sir. The officer observed the defendant speaking to two other individuals and conducting a hand-to-hand transaction. The officer stopped his vehicle near the defendant, and when the defendant saw the officer, he started leaving on his bicycle. The officer began to follow the defendant, and the defendant actively avoided the officer by changing directions frequently. The officer stopped the car and told the defendant to stop. The defendant continued to flee until losing his balance on his bike, and the defendant stated he did try to flee because he had an active parole warrant. So
What was he doing wrong?
the officer observed what appeared to be a hand-to-hand narcotics transaction.
Okay, was the other person doing it? Did he do it?
It was,
Did they find any dope?
I don't believe they found any dope, but what they did observe was him on his bike and stopping with someone else.
And didn't even notify himself as police. You know, one of the conditions on an evading arrest is you have to notify that you're a police, that you're a police officer. You can't just yell, stop.
Let me see the dims.
Sure.
We do have that the officer was riding in a marked patrol vehicle as he was following the defendant. So there is that, as well as,
Does that imply?
My client was on a bicycle. He was riding a bike.
and that's when they were following him in the marked patrol vehicle while he was on his bicycle, and then yelling at him to stop.
Did they find any evidence of a narcotics transaction? They obviously didn't find him with any dope. Did they find him with like a large cash? And then let's look at the statute. What is your argument?
Well, my argument is that he was just riding his bike. In the DIMS, it does say, and I quote, where I just lost it. The defendant looked at me and attempted to flee. I don't know how you attempt to flee.
Well, I guess just go the other way from him.
That's fleeing, though.
And then it says in the DIMS as well that the officer observed the defendant look at the marked patrol vehicle and then change directions as he viewed.
You know how many people do that? You know how many people just look at a police car? I do it too.
2 defendants, 2 dismissed cases, 1 for weak DWI evidence, 1 for vague drug suspicion. Judge Fleser shows that justice isn't automatic. It's earned. What's your take on his rulings? Drop a comment, like, and subscribe for more real courtroom drama.
Yes, Your Honor.
He's also riding,
Sure too.
he's riding a bicycle. He needs to pay attention to traffic.
And Your Honor, the only thing is that took place after what appeared to be a hand-to-hand narcotics transaction. That's what the officer wrote in the DIMS.
Yeah, I'm not buying it. All right,
Yes,
no
Judge.
problem.
Yes, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.